bait right there.
I know what you're thinking. You're saying he's lost his mind. he's done lost his mind. Well, no.
No, I'm good.
So yes, this is the recommended way to do this. As you can see, now I can pull the head off. You have to remove the whole wiper tray so that you can get into the motor, because they tucked it so far back in, like there wasn't enough room to put it further forward. This is basically a mid-engine car. The axle of the wheels is like kind of lined up with the front of the engine. Oh no, we're getting hail, and my Z and my Cadillac's out. Oh no. Oh my god, this is not good. No. I hope it doesn't get much bigger.
That's what she said.
This could be bad. Oh no. This is really not good. It's got worse. No. It just got even more bad. I'm pretty sure it just totaled all my cars. This is sad. This is really sad. It doesn't look bad at the moment, but I'm hoping it didn't break any glass or put any major dents in the vehicles, but you know, it was pretty bad there. Alright, this is no good. It's been like 10 minutes and it's just not stopping. Like, please, show some mercy. Oh my gosh. So you gonna start again? Okay. The hail stopped. I'm just kind of waiting now to see if any of my vehicles are totaled. This is sad. I'm really sad now. Anyways, I have the all data on this. We're doing a head gasket. It's pretty plain and obvious. I broke the oil feed tube already. It was brittle, so it split right here. No big deal. We'll order a new one. It was obviously needed. Well, actually, that's not the feed line. What is that? That is a vacuum port. Okay, but still, I'll get a new one. That's the feed line right there, and it goes over. No, that's the coolant. That's the coolant tube. Okay. Well, I'm confused. There's the feed, and it comes from down below. Is it a hard line the whole way? Yes, it's a hard line. That's probably why I can't move the turbo. I'm going to have to loosen the feed line. I was trying to loosen the bolts on the exhaust, but I couldn't really get to them. Now I have full access to them. What we did get, we got intake gasket, exhaust gasket, valve cover gasket, timing, tensioner, new guides, timing guides. There's one, there's the other. Really nice ones. Head bolts, head gaskets. Yeah, so we're going full in on this. The whole front timing cover has to come off. Valve cover has to come off. We got to strip the head because I have to send it to a guy to have it milled. It's a job. It looks like it's calming down now. I'm going to get my leaf blower out and blow the water off of a couple of the cars. From here, they look good. It's promising. I don't see dents from here, so there may be a couple I can live with, but it sucks. I think we made out, boys. I don't see any dents. I think the quarter panel suffered a small dent. I can kind of see a slight dent right by the fuel filler there. Do I see any more? No, I think we fared out pretty good for that. Now Ashley's car is not waxed, so it's just the water's just sitting on it, but it looks like it's going to be okay as well. How did the Cadillac make out? No broken glass. It looks like it got a little moisture on the inside maybe. I don't know. I think we're good. I think we're good, guys. I was so worried. Now that puts me in a better mood. No broken glass and looking alright. Excuse me while I go buy a lottery ticket now. Now, being that that's a vacuum hose I broke, if I cannot locate that online, I could patch it with heat shrink tape and it would be fine. All I gotta do is slide it back over there and then make sure that the heat tape goes the whole way across there. Not the right way to do it, so I mean, I'm gonna try to locate that, but we'll see what happens. It's a lot less intimidating looking after you get that window cowl out. Like the vacuum pump that I did that was a pain in the butt, look at that now. It's like, there it is. So yeah, it's a little extra work, but in the end you'll be happy that you did that. Now the turbo, I gotta get, this is the positive crankcase ventilation tube. I ordered it, it's like 30 bucks. So yeah, we'll get that. That's the PCV valve on top, and that's the ventilation. So going real smooth. Real smooth. So I ordered this other vent case, which this one was leaking. So, I mean, that's not even that bad. But it was like 20 bucks. So, there's another hose. I said I was done, and then I started unplugging all the harnesses. When I'm going to come back tomorrow, all I got to do is, there's a ground and a sensor on the back side of the motor I need to undo. And then this whole harness will flop across the front here. And there'll be no wires here. As you can see, this loom is just destroyed and falling apart. It's horrible. Alright, next day. Let's talk about one thing here. Another thing I noticed when I was taking this apart is I had oil in the intercooler tubes. First thing I'm thinking, well, turbo shot. Then took the air box off and seen that there was oil laying on the inlet of the turbo. And that's where the PCV valve and all those ventilation tubes go. And that is where, I mean, those PCV valves, all the lines for them were all oily. So I think, and it's very common on these now that, I looked it up, I should be replacing all the PCV valves while I do this. So I did order all those too. It was like on Amazon, 35 bucks. Not bad. And all the lines and stuff was another 45, I'm guessing. It was something like that. So a little under 100 bucks. We're getting all new PCV valves and all new vent lines, positive crankcase pressure lines to that. Inside the intercooler, of course it's right here. If I stick my finger the whole way in it and down in, I can't really do it, but get in there as far as I can. I'm dry. As you can see right here on the air box, right here is where the line goes in from the PCV valve, and yes, we're all oily right there. So thank God the turbo's fine. It's just PCV valve stuff. So all new line, which is gonna help sell this thing that I'm doing all of this. But yeah, so all new gaskets, new lines. The only thing is the loom, and I do have some loom here, but I'm like, do I really want to recover all this stuff? I don't know. Some of the stuff I put like right here where there's absolutely nothing going up here to the exhaust cam actuator there. I should probably replace that. Another thing you got to do is, since these are all flaking apart, there's a whole bunch of debris in here from these wires. So once I get this all disconnected, get the wires out of the way, I'm going to blow an air wand in here and try to blow it all around. Yes, the spark plug holes are open, but what does it matter? I'm taking the head off. So even if I do get some of that debris in there, we'll be able to clean it out. The only thing holding my harness on still is a coolant sensor, and I believe there's a ground back there I need to get to. So let's get to those. I got this heat shield loose. I don't know. I think the only thing holding the turbo in place is the exhaust itself and the oil feed line. And then there's a coolant feed line right here that's a hard line, and it's mounted right here. So I need to get those lines undone, and hopefully we can move the turbo then. And whose ever idea was it to put one of these freaking compression fittings on here that you have to stick a thing up in there to get it loose on a 90-degree angle? How do you get one of these things in there to get it loose? I'm mad at you, GM. not real happy with your design, GM. They made it look like it was easy, but it's deceiving. So I got all those studs out, so it looks like, you know, you'd be able to just pull it right off the exhaust studs. Well, they put a support bracket under the exhaust, and there's 2 bolts to it. There's one right there, which I already got out, and then there's that one back there that you can't get out. There's no room to get it out, and even then, you're not going to get the turbo past it. So the only thing you have to, I'm going to have to get down underneath the car and disconnect the exhaust somewhere down there so I can pull this pipe, the cat, off of the back of the turbo, so then the turbo will come free. Because as of right now, this heat shield cannot be removed because the turbo's in the way, and that's how you get to the bolts, and you cannot get to them. You can't get to them with the heat shield on, and I can't get the heat shield off. Nice. Okay, so we actually might have enough flex without removing that. It's got a hard bracket right here onto the engine. That bolt's had better days. I'm going to try to take this bolt out of the engine pan there because it looks a lot cleaner. Oh shoot, there's another one. Where you see it? See it? So no doubt, get those 2 bolts out, and you should have enough flex without disconnecting the whole exhaust. So I'm gonna go ahead and undo those, and then we'll get this thing back on the ground, and then I'll show it to you. I don't know which one of you mechanics screwed this GM engineer's wife. You really messed us up here, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be a multiple part video. Probably 3 parts, okay? I'm not going to get this finished today, obviously. My goal for this video is to get the exhaust off. You could leave the manifold on, but the way that bracket's on there, that stud will not come off. The one I was fighting with right there. It's there, okay? So it's not coming off. So the next thing to do is to get the 2 bolts down there on the side of the engine that this bracket bolts to. I took most of the bolts out of the exhaust thinking, yeah, that we'd take that out of there, but that's not the case. Unfortunately, there's 1, 2, 3. There's a bolt right in the center down at the bottom, and you cannot get a wrench on it currently with this bracket on here, which makes no sense to even take it out at this point, because if I got to take this bracket off, that exhaust can stay on there and help us lift the head off. So what I'm actually gonna do is put 2 bolts back in it, just run them in real quick, and it's gonna stay on there. And then we got to get that bracket. So I can see 2 bolts on that bracket down there near the bottom. I think when we get them out, then we should be good. I'm not moving. The turbo is on the drain, and there's 2 lines coming off the bottom of that. And I don't know. One of them's the oil drain, obviously. The other one, I have no clue. Oh, okay. It's the bottom coolant tube. Is it? Okay, so we're only sitting on the oil drain right now, but it'd be harder to get that off than what it's worth, so just gonna leave that on there. Also, I ordered this flange gasket and the flange gasket on the Cat because I don't want to have to take it back apart to fix a leak, so just gonna put new stuff in this. Here's what I like to see. Somebody did a really good job putting this vacuum pump seal on the back of the valve cover.
I don't know who did that.
Anyways, the intake's loose, but it's almost like something is still holding it on there. Like it's loose. I have it pulled off, as you can see. Don't know if that's going to give me problems or not. It may not. One thing that is going to be a pain on this head is there's coolant ports on the back side of the head. Up here, this is something you wouldn't be able to see with that window cowl in. You can see there is a plastic exhaust housing there with a temperature sensor in it, and there is a coolant hose right there between it there's a metal neck on this end and just a small pipe in between. That's going to be a pain. Now I don't know what the better option is going to be. I see the pipe comes over and goes into the head over here on this side, so it's all attached. Maybe it'll come off with the head, and that would be great. I think it might. So if that's the case, then we're good there. I shouldn't have any problems. There's coolant hoses over here. I don't know what they attach to. I'm hoping everything we're good here. The high pressure fuel pump is right there. That's why the intake cam is so long. As you get back here, that runs your high pressure fuel pump. And then also this looks to be like a trigger on the end, and I believe there's a sensor over here or whatever that runs off of that trigger there at the end, and it probably is what tells the fuel pump to run. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. I have no clue. But anyways, this is all we're going to get into today. I still have a lot of work to do before we even start tearing the cams and stuff out. Now we have to tear into the timing cover on the front. I know you're probably telling yourselves this is a lot of work. And it is. Like, no lie. I don't need these lights in my face. Get out of here. But it needs to be done, so we're doing it, okay? You just gotta dive into these kind of things. Like, you can't just be like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Sell it to the next person, because the next person's gonna do it. And then they're gonna make money on it. So, that's not me. If I had to pay somebody to do something, yeah, but I can do this kind of work myself. For the timing cover, this is the exact same timing cover like the Cobalt SS we did. So I have the gasket here, and I was like looking at it after it came in the mail. I was like, man, that looks familiar, like I've seen it before. Because I have. Because that is the same exact one that you use on the Cobalt SS. Also, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't understand how that even works. I think you use sealant on the head section, and then this goes on the lower section? I'm a little confused. But regardless, lots more work coming up. I'm going to have to make sure that this is the right timing cover. I ordered this from Rock Auto, and I mean, it can't be wrong, because it was for this. Valve cover kit I got, it comes with everything. Does it come with a new vacuum pump seal? I believe it does. Actually, no, it doesn't. All those round seals are the spark plug holes. Yes, there's 4 of those. Then there's these gaskets, and there's these gaskets. So it's not too many. You got your main one, then these small ones, then the spark plug holes, then these ones. That's normal. And then if you're like me, you would order that separate for the vacuum pump. At least I was familiar with it and I knew where the bolts were already. That made this a little bit easier. But if you like this video, smash that like button, consider subscribing. Hit that dislike button if your mom has a special move called the vacuum pump. And we'll see you on the next episode of
Unwrapped.
Every time she goes outside or anywhere, Stewie grabs her pajamas and hauls them out here. Why you got mommy's pajamas out here? Huh? What? Is mommy on the porch? Mm-hmm. What? You get them big paws. Sheldon. What are you doing? Miss Stella? Oh, he's a big yawn. What are you doing? Mr. Ornery over here. What are you doing? You watching your mom outside. You had to get a bath the other day, didn't you? Because I put you in the pen because you was bawling, and then you peed everywhere and on yourself. You don't want to talk about that? Do you want to say bye-bye?